All right, I got to have a little bit of fun this morning. Got invited on CNN's New Day to talk about their new polling showing Bernie Sanders taking the lead, and also the comments from Hillary Clinton saying that nobody likes Bernie. Let's take a listen to a little bit of how that unfolded.
And Krystal Ball, she supported Bernie Sanders in 2016, but has not yet endorsed him for 2020.
Look how out of touch this looks. And this is, I think, a failure that a lot of D.C. has had, which has made them underestimate Bernie Sanders. Yeah, if you listen to cable news all day, if you just hang out in this town, you're going to think nobody likes Bernie Sanders. But again, the polls consistently show he is actually the most popular candidate in the race. New rankings came out. He's the most popular senator in the entire country. So
That's
part
not
of
true.
why that literally came out last
true.
week. Morning Consult polling ranked him as the #1 most popular senator in the entire country.
Does not compute. Does not compute. It's always funny to watch these things. I mean, it's like, first of all, bravo for calling out cable news while on cable
You like
news.
that little dig?
That's a special. I don't even have the courage to do that whenever I go on. But you can see that, I mean, Allison Camerata, and then, like, the gas, I mean, she just does no, she's like, that's not true, that's not, I mean, it's, first of all, it literally is true.
Came
and
out
I think
last week.
Kyle Kalinske, we were talking about, Hillary's got like a 36% approval rating, right? Like, you want to compare popularities. It's always just funny. Anytime somebody with anti-establishment politics goes on cable news, absent the Tucker Carlson show, everybody just has no idea what to say. They literally can't compute what's going on.
And it's not it's not hard to do, because you literally show up with just a few actual facts grounded in reality. Yeah. But it's so unusual to have that brought to the table and like, oh, by the way, he's the most popular senator in the country, judging by a poll that came out last week. Karen Finney, who was on there, the other guest in the program, somebody I worked with at MSNBC, by the way, somebody I have a good relationship, but she's was a Hillary staffer, so she's obviously in that camp, very defensive of the former Secretary of State. And if you do live in that world, you just cannot relate to the idea that people actually like Bernie Sanders.
Right.
And it means that if you are tactically trying to defeat him, you're going to have bad judgment, because you don't understand the way people actually feel about him. If you just buy into the cable news narrative about him, you think that he is divisive, that he's angry, that he's disliked, that no one takes him seriously, et cetera, et cetera. And so you launch attacks against him that assume that is the perception of him out there in the public, and that's why they just completely fall flat.
Yeah, they just don't understand it. And I wanted to make sure everybody could see it, because it's hilarious to watch our politics kind of collide with the mainstream, and everyone's like, that's not true. And then you can just live fact check them in real time, and they have nothing to say.
It's like, we do this every day. We actually look at the real polls and the real numbers.
Right.
We don't sugarcoat it for you all, but we try to ground it in reality, and so little of that actually happens on cable news.
All right, well, I hope you can all enjoy. Yeah.
We'll have more for you right after this.